Matrix is being resurrected with Matrix Resurrection, and it looks like they're in a loop. Looks like some old characters are back, and it looks like Agent Smith got a facelift.
Hey everyone, welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. So the second trailer for Matrix Resurrections just hit a number of hours ago. We've been going through Matrix 1, 2, and 3 in anticipation of this, and we're kind of getting a glimpse into things. And Nick, what did you think of this? Are you excited about this? And especially having just finished up or finishing up the third Matrix movies, are you looking forward to more of this?
Kind of. Are you, John?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. The first time I saw this trailer, so I watched it twice. Once earlier today, and then I watched it again right before we recorded. And the first time I watched it, I was like, "Yes, I'm ready for some more Matrix. I'm excited." Then I watched it again. I'm like, I'm excited because they were showing shots from the original Matrix, and they're showing the people who are supposed to be stepping in for these original people. I'm like, but that's not Lawrence Fishburne. That's not the Agent Smith, and it's not the original Matrix. And so I'm thinking, if you weren't dropping those member berries like they did for The Force Awakens and all the trailers they did for the original Star Wars, would you have been excited for those? And did I like those movies? No, I didn't. So it's is it going to be the same thing for the Matrix? And were you thinking the same thing, or?
It's Star Wars all over again.
You think so? Yeah, that's
well. Yeah, they are revamping characters. They're showing you story plots and stuff from the last movie. Mm-hmm. It's all flashbacks, and that's what I got from the newest trailer. Obviously, it can totally go the other way, and it doesn't have to be anything like what I think it's going to be. But some reason in the back of my head, I just kind of have like I think it's gonna. I don't know.
Well. The one good thing I can say about this is if you're going to recast, I guess, in a sense, characters as younger people, the Matrix is a world you can do that in, because it's a loop. The characters can be rebodied by different AIs and things like that. So it makes sense in that universe that they would be able to do that. Now, should they do that? Would I rather see Lawrence Fishburne? Would I rather see Hugo Weaving as these
we don't know
people?
If he can still be in it, though. We can see a haggard Lawrence Fishburne at the end of the movie, or somewhere through the movie, just like we saw Naomi.
Well, I mean, usually if you're getting big people like that, even if it's small little cameo appearances, usually you hear about that. I mean, this is not like back in the Universal classic monsters where you didn't know who Boris Karloff was. Like the monster, for Frankenstein, you had the monster and it was question marks in the beginning credits. Like, you don't really have that anymore. If you have these big actors and actresses, the studio wants you to know, hey, Lawrence Fishburne is coming back as Morpheus.
I mean, they might be doing the Avengers thing where they act like they show you the Hulk and stuff, and then the Hulk's not in the movie.
Wait, what?
So in the Avengers, at the first part of the last Avengers movie, I can't know, is it Endgame, or I can't remember
Infinity
the
War.
last.
Infinity War was the first one.
Yeah, that one. Okay, in that one, in the trailer, it shows the Hulk like running with them in the battle and stuff like that, but there was no Hulk in the movie because Bruce couldn't transform into the Hulk.
Oh, okay. So it
was just like, it's like, throwing people off so they don't get everything out of the trailer. And I feel like if anyone's going to do that, the Matrix would, right? It's like the illusion of what you are going to get, maybe, or something like that, to kind of mess with people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're showing these newer people to temper the expectations. Like, hey, Lawrence Fishburne is not there, but this is who's playing Lawrence Fishburne. This is not, we don't have Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, but this is who's playing Agent Smith. And so, I mean, you may be right.
It makes sense for Agent Smith, though, because he's a program.
Yeah.
And they can easily facelift it or give it a new identity and stuff. But for Lawrence Fishburne, he's a human character. Mm-hmm. So like, I feel like if maybe he's like the new president, remember in our other video, I'm like the president, well, maybe he's the new leader of the free people of Zion. We just finished watching all three, guys. Subscribe to our channel. We're doing reviews of all the new Matrix stuff. We're going to be releasing them this week and next week, kind of getting prepped for the new movies coming out. And, I think the Oracle, right? I think she might be the big bad.
What?
Yeah, because what I got out of it when he went to the room, right, and he was talking about, remember the architect said he was like the fathers of the Matrix, and the Oracle's like the mother of the Matrix.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so basically it's yin and yang, right? Uh-huh. But the Oracle's programming is to figure out human the way humans function, and like that's why she's the one that added hope. No, not hope, but choice to the
Yeah.
Matrix. It was her idea to add choice. So basically, it's like a program, right? Like they it's like deep fake software and other software and other stuff like that, where basically they have a program that looks for a fake image, and then another program that makes the fake image, right? And it goes back and forth, learning from each other, so it gets smarter and smarter, right? So the idea is like the Oracle is doing stuff on purpose so the Matrix could possibly hit 100% completion, so no one would ever want to leave and stuff. So I think maybe her idea of being on their team is to learn from them, to learn all of their weaknesses, which makes the Matrix stronger.
So the Matrix as a program is trying to, or the Oracle as a program is trying to make the Matrix completely inhabitable for humans. Well, you know what? It's not the worst theory Nick has had. If you guys have listened to the channel for a while, he has had much worse.
So the Oracle's going to be the big bad, I think, in the long run. And I think Agent Smith is going to be the one like, yo, you see what they're doing? They're making you stay here, and they're always defending you. And maybe he's the one that's going to reawaken Neo.
Now, why does Agent Smith all of a sudden sound like a film noir gangster? Like, why does he...
I don't know.
He went from Mr. Anderson
I'm so
to
bad.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, see here, eh? Hey, see here, eh? The deal's going down the speakeasy, eh? So they're bringing back Neo and they're bringing back Trinity, right?
Yeah,
and every time they touch, they have a flashback. So what I also got from it too, which is so funny, we talked about this when we do the review, they're really, really, really bringing back love as like the main plot of the storyline, right? Like, do you love Trinity? Relearn how to use your powers so you can save her. You know, it's just like,
which
the
is,
love story's
which is
back.
funny because in the movie trilogy, the original movie trilogy, Nick and I were talking about, I think a lot of people share this, the chemistry between Neo and Trinity wasn't that great in the movie, you know, between Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves. It just didn't feel like it came across. Yet that's like kind of the crux this is all kind of going off of. But at the same time, am I looking forward to more of this? I definitely am. One thing I was going to say that I thought was kind of interesting is in the interviews over the years, like Keanu Reeves has said, he's like, yeah, I'd be kind of open to revisit more, you know, Matrix world material. And then Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith, had said over the years, he's like, yeah, I'd be interested in revisiting it. Now, I don't know how long ago those quotes were for, but Hugo Weaving, one of the ones that had been interested in revisiting it, is, as far as we know, not, you know, returning. So it's kind of interesting how some of these things...
We'll see, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because maybe like there'll be a scene or two with him where Neo sees through the old design.
Oh, yeah.
That happened in the third movie, right? When he was fighting him and he was able to see the digital world, he saw him with he saw him with sunglasses. It was like, wait, what? Does he not have eyeballs in his programming?
Yeah.
But
that's been talked about a lot over the years. And if you guys, right after we finish this
I've been missing out on all of these conversations over the years, apparently.
Yeah, so Nick and I have just, you know, been going through, like we were talking about, going through the original trilogy. And the third one, we're actually going to be recording videos on that right after we finish this trailer one. So if you guys, again, like Nick was saying, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you'd like some more content on the third Matrix, definitely check that stuff out. And we have the content already released for the first and second Matrix. So really fun stuff.
Are you excited, though, John? Are you excited? Because I know you're the big Matrix fan. You wear leather jackets every day. You wear the sunglasses indoors. Are you excited for this new Matrix movie? Like, are you excited? Any fun theories? Or you just don't care and you're going in just like, ah!
So the first half of what Nick said, it was all lies. I do not wear all those things or do those things, but I am a Matrix fan and I am excited for this. Like, if I look at that trailer, is it mostly feeding off nostalgia, showing us past shots and characters that may or are probably not going to even be in the movies? Like, yeah, in that regard, it's like, I feel like that's kind of false. But at the same time, I feel like this would be a good time to get more in this world based on where technology is at versus 2003 when we got the last movie. Like, a lot has happened in the world of technology and a lot of different ideas we can go down. I mean, everybody's talking about the metaverse, which is, you know, come from somewhat recent books ideas. And are they going to feed into that? And that almost goes into the idea of Matrix and a shared, you know, kind of virtual reality universe and things like that. So there's a lot of ideas that they could take this whole ideas. And you saw that in the first trailer where, Neo's in this elevator and he's kind of looking up at the reflection in the top of the elevator and he sees everybody on cell phones and he's the only one not on that. It's like, well, that wasn't even hardly a thing, in the first Matrix. They had cell phones, but not
they carried
like that.
it around to talk to their operator.
Yeah, exactly. But that was it. So this is a different period, and I feel like it could breathe some new life into it. But,
so did Trinity die in the last movie?
Oh, she's dead for sure.
So do you think this Trinity we see is made by the Matrix to trick him?
I mean, that's the interesting thing. Is like you saw her at the end of the trailer, like in that harvesting sack, right? That people in the real world are found in, right? Like when Neo was, being harvested at the very beginning of the first Matrix movie before.
So they're cloning people.
Well,
what if they're cloning?
It's either like they're being cloning or, your DNA, comes up again, or just through trial and error, eventually you're going to get to that same thing again. It's really, I don't know if I want.
So he's going to go through the whole process again, basically.
Well, that was the first line of this last trailer is like, we're caught in loops. Now they were talking in relation to the Matrix, but at the same time, we're seeing Trinity, as a person back in that kind of sack. And then you're seeing like new shots of Neo in that as well, which I don't think were in the original movie. So I'm assuming you're seeing him in that as well.
Well, because they must have replugged him in again.
What's that?
Right? Like after they did the Holy Jesus pose or whatever, and they laid him down on the top
movie. You're talking about, right?
In the third movie, they just are like, okay, put him in a sack, round him up, let's just save this, or let's save this guy for later, because we'll see what happens. Because this is the same version of the Matrix, I'm guessing, right? And all they went through was an update, basically. They basically got an update, and they cleared everything. And did she add hope to the Matrix? Was that like the new thing she added, like because she's like, peace. She added peace to the Matrix, right? At the end, she's like, now it's like the age of peace, like adding peace to the Matrix, right?
Well, I remember at the very, very end, the little girl is asking, the Oracle.
Oh yeah, the little girl. Oh my gosh, I have another crazy theory about the little girl. Well, go on. Okay, go on.
So the little girl says, "Do you think we're ever going to see Neo again?" I mean, they at the end of that third movie, like I'm sure they were not planning any more Matrix movies in 2003, but they said, they left it wide open, and it's kind of maybe just in a biblical sense. But they said, "Do you think do you think we're ever going to see Neo again?" The Oracle says, "I think we will, someday." This movie being named Resurrections, like in a Christ resurrection type thing, like totally makes sense. So they left that door open, and they're visiting it many years later. It's like, it's kind of cool that they're revisiting this with new ideas and probably over the exhaustion of making that movie that many years back. So hopefully they're able to revisit this, having filmed it and gone through this process with fresh eyes and fresh ideas, and hopefully we get some really cool new content, and hopefully the actors that did come back, even though it seems like it's not many principal actors, come back like fresh and excited about the material again. I mean, would I have felt really good if it was some more people like Lawrence Fishburne and things like that? Yeah, of course. Like
he might be there though. We don't know. It could be a surprise. He can still be there.
Like to me, more than Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, like Lawrence Fishburne, especially watching the movies again, like he makes those movies to me. Like
no,
his acting.
It's that kid at the end of the third one. He makes the movies.
I can't stand that kid. Gosh. Anyway, we're going to get into all that in the Matrix Part 3. Yeah.
Subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing a lot of fun theories and deep dives on the Matrix and VFX breakdowns, all that good stuff. So, and we also have a fun podcast that we've been discussing in-depth Matrix knowledge.
All right, you guys, thank you very much for watching. Check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.